So we have the pleasure of having an extraordinary podcaster, Miss Exquisite, to our platform. It's a pleasure having you, Tamara. How are you?
Thank you for having me. I'm good.
That's good. Can you take us back to the beginning? What sparked your interest in podcasting, and how did you take the leap from the idea to launch your first episode? Was there a particular experience, conversation, or moment that inspired you to start, sharing your voice and ideas with the world through podcasting?
Oh, that's a lot. Well, what took me to start podcasting? As you may know, as a podcaster yourself, is that it's getting widely popular for
That's true.
podcasts, and we're seeing a lot of people doing podcasts nowadays. And sometimes when we have a lot of thoughts, and we're outspoken enough, it begs us to want to, give a lending ear to the public and, share those thoughts with persons that you think you might benefit. So that is what really, got me started and wanting to actually do a podcast. And then while doing the podcast, I realized that subconsciously it was therapy for me. Some of the things that I was speaking about, some of the things I was talking about were probably pent up and swept under the rug, things that I was dealing with that I needed to get out. Because as a strong woman, as I be myself, I don't like to bring my problems or troubles to people. I leave them inside of me. I deal with them myself. And because of that, there's a lot of trauma. So while doing the podcast, I actually realized that I was healing myself.
Right. But how do you decide what content you put out at a particular time? Is there like a schedule, say, okay, I know my audience may want to hear this at this moment. How do you decide?
At first, I decided, because my podcast is a social, cultural podcast, so I told myself that how I would derive my topics would be from trending things that was going on in the media. You may go on TikTok, you go on Instagram, you see every day people talking about a specific thing. You dig down in yourself and you try to relate with whatever is going on, and then pinpoint one thing that you want to talk about and just expound.
True, that's true.
That is what I found myself doing. I had a list of things. I when I was starting, I made a list of about 20 things that I could talk about that were general, like relationship type things,
right?
Mental health, those type of things. But then as the topic started trending, I would deviate from that. So you can do a structured thing, but sometimes you have to go with the waves.
That's true. How do you think persons have really, engaged themselves with the content that you put out there? Like, what were the feedbacks when it started and up until now?
Well, the feedbacks kind of sort of fluctuated. I had some good based on what I was talking about, and I have some bad based on the level of controversy or devil's advocate that I am willing to play with. Whatever is going on.
Yeah.
So the feedback really fluctuated. I am really blessed to have friends who would share my content and interact with my content, so I can have some good, genuine, honest feedback. And I'm also, grateful for the bad, because, when you're doing publicity is bad publicity. You really want engagements to push it out there. So, yeah, the feedback kind of fluctuates. But I'm grateful for both, because when it's good, it's very good.
Yeah, that's really good. But when you're making content, is there like a specific audience that you would want to target?
At first I wanted to target women in general. Because when I was even looking for topics, I wanted to name, one of the names I came up with was the Big Sister podcast.
Right.
Because when I thought about starting a podcast, I would be speaking to women, speaking life into women, kind of from a big sister type of vibe.
Yeah.
So, sometimes you school a little sister or your sibling is not always lovey-dovey. Sometimes you have to give them the hard truth, make them understand what is really going on. I
Definitely.
saw a quote on TikTok one time. I don't remember the person that said it, but they said, sometimes a girl's girl is not always lovey-dovey. Sometimes we give them the hard truth. Whether they like it or not, it still helps them.
Definitely.
Right. So that's the point of view that I was trying to come from. So my target audience would be women.
Okay, that's good. I think a lot of females need that at this time because I don't think they have a lot of friends or persons in their surrounding that really be frank with them because people consider I don't want them to feel some type of way, so let me just kind of sugarcoat it for them.
Very true, very true. And again, I'm very blessed to have, friends that I can talk to openly and honestly and frank. And, take it no way. And, see we are close to one another and, in public and in something.
So, right, that's true. I'm glad you said that because you have persons that would say venting can be a little bit tedious because you have to be careful who you're venting to.
Right.
How do you balance staying true to your vision with appealing to a broad audience?
Oh. Well, I just have to keep myself focused on what my goal is, which is to, empower women and make them see things from a different perspective and not like a shallow perspective. I just have to know that this way I go and this way I go stay. True.
That's good. That's good. Thank you for being on the platform and sharing your insights as a podcaster and how you started. I appreciate you being a part. Big up yourself and thanks for having me. I am very honored to be here as well.
Me a beg you, don't impart that on impressionable minds. We do not talk big and bold, yeah. Myself, so what? Keep that to yourself. Hey, back in the days, we used to have what you call girls. And, some people call them escorts or, the term we use, prostitute. But we did not know who they were. It was a secret. We did not know who they were because even though what they're doing is not necessarily right, they also had class. And they knew it wasn't something to a kiki about. It wasn't a laughing matter. It wasn't nothing where you have to brawling with. Yes, they were in survival mode, just like some of you. But the problem is right now, no shame. Let us normalize having little shame, please.